Today I'm going to be talking about Battlestate Games and how they scam their entire fan base. To give you the backstory of this situation, I need to start with who these people are and what game they made. Battlestate Games is a video game developing company based in Russia that made the game Escape From Tarkov. Escape From Tarkov is an extraction shooter game where you play as your own character or a randomly made one and explore different parts of a post-war place called Tarkov that's basically set someplace in northern Russia. And whenever you spawn in, there are both bots and other players out to get you, but you can also play with friends and team up.
To me.
Who's that guy?
Oh, ow, ow, ow!
Oh, hey, Poom.
You shot me! Oh! Stop shooting me!
You collect loot, weapons, and other stuff to upgrade your base, sell, and trade, or for missions you are given. The game has a whole community market of its own, with also the option of using in-game merchants to sell or trade with. They also give you missions that can get you XP, loot, or weapons. This game is very unforgiving, as if you die without ensuring your weapons or gear you brought onto the field with you, you lose those items. Even if you insure everything you own or anything that you bring out, you can still have a chance of not getting that item back. This game is very hard to play and is also extremely popular and has a whole community around it. People that were already popular, like General Sam, would make tons of videos about this game and see a boost in viewers and subscribers when playing and using this game for videos. To be honest, this was somewhat of an excuse to tell you about my favorite YouTuber. There wasn't a game exactly like Tarkov, besides one before it called The Division Dead Zone, which Muda, or Some Ordinary Gamers, brought up in his video talking about this situation. Personally, I've never played, so I don't know how similar they are, but to me they look pretty different and I can see how they are quite different. But Escape From Tarkov is the game that made extraction shooters and put them on the map. As for a long time, there wasn't a name or anything for this genre of games that are like Escape From Tarkov. This game is truly one of its own and very inspirational and different. Games have been coming out like this one or in the same genre as it ever since its popularity has risen. Although the game is super popular, it also has some recent issues with syncing and cheating. Basically, for the syncing issue, your death was really delayed as you'd be clearly behind a wall but their shots still hit, and it was a pretty big deal for a while. Your death was basically delayed. It was very annoying as combat was basically unpredictable and completely unfair.
Crazy. What the? Crazy. Crazy.
And more recently, there has been a lot of issues with cheaters in the game, and when you cheat against people in a game like this, it really affects the other players as they lose their hard-earned and luck-based loot that took a long time to get. This game, like I said, is so extremely hard that a lot of people are not going to be able to play it and actually succeed when doing so. I can't describe to you how difficult this game actually is. Some people make it look easy, but whenever you get in there yourself, it's extremely hard, and getting good loot and just getting loot in general can be very difficult, and cheaters just basically killing you and taking all of your hard-earned loot can be very detrimental to the fan base. Cheaters can really kill games, and this has been a problem for a while now, but now recently they've been in another situation where they scam their fans. The game used to have a special edition of the game called the Edge of Darkness edition, which will in a little bit be called EOD for short. That was the most expensive edition for the game, and it costed I think $125, and the base game, just for comparison, costs $50. But the Edge of Darkness edition gave you some extra loot to start out with, some add-ons that were pretty nice, and gave you all the DLCs released for free. Even the new and upcoming updates, you were giving these DLCs for free. There was also 2 other editions of the game, one costing $82 and the other costing $110, that had their own bonuses, but the Edge of Darkness edition was the only one that gave you all free DLCs. Now they removed that edition of the game out of the store and added a new one called the Unheard edition, which costs a whopping $250 in this economy, and this game is, by the way, still in beta, which means it's not fully released yet. It's like Yandere Simulator, as it's a game that is going to be forever in beta and never actually release, as this game has been in beta for 7 to 8 years now, and who knows whenever it's actually releasing. And this is just outrageous for any video game to be priced this much and get nothing physical from it. I've seen some insane editions of video games cost the same or less and give you way cooler stuff. To add on, one of the special items you get from this $250 edition of the game is a knife, but the knife was found on an asset store where you can buy the ability to use certain objects made by people in your game. So basically there's a store, you buy, you see a product or see an object that you like, whether it's a knife, a gun, maybe a building, I don't really know, and you buy the ability to use that asset and put it into your own game, which is what they did with this knife, and people found it quickly on the asset store. So the things you receive after paying $250 is not even an original piece from the developers themselves. And for anyone who bought the Edge of Darkness edition, all of your quote-quote all-free DLCs part of your edition was removed, which means you had to now pay another $100 for the game to get back what you paid for, which was, the free DLCs, and get the new DLC and add-ons. One of the new modes that came out with this new edition was PvE, Player versus Environment, which was really wanted by the community, but Battlestate Games tried to say it was a feature of the new edition so they could get away with not giving it to the EOD players, and to probably cover themselves legally. They were also planning to add more stuff, more DLC, to this version of the game. And if it's not obvious by now, this was an obvious DLC, this new update with PvE and all this new extra add-ons. It was a DLC, not a feature that should have been gatekept behind a overpriced paywall. Besides making new additions to rip off your fans, you should focus on the huge cheating problem. But hey, not everyone has common sense, especially whenever your update posts don't even have proper English. It's actually insane when you think about it how weirdly set apart game developers are from the community and just their game in general, because why are you not focusing on the anti-cheat for your video game that you are making? Why are you focusing on a $250 edition of the game? To me, $250 edition of a game, unless it's giving me some physical stuff as well as some cool DLC, like free DLC for the rest of the time of owning the game, just does not really seem worth it, especially for a game that's really just going to frustrate you. There's cheaters all in it, and there's a lot of issues that just aren't being fixed, and the game is in beta. It's weird to pay for a game that's in beta, by the way. In protest of this new update, people a part of the Escape From Tarkov's Discord server have been copying and pasting the same message over and over again in the general chat of the Discord server, and it reads,
You know that cheating can make or break video games? Which may or may not be one of the reasons why they're having some long matchmaking times, but hey, that's a whole different story, all right? And one that I haven't entirely looked too into. Now, obviously, the community it has started a jihad against them, okay? Like, if you go to their Discord right here, boom! This is all you see. It's just literally accounts posting the same copy pasta. So we're going to start an episode of Haunted Gaming and read this. Since 2016, players have supported the developers by purchasing the highest edition of the game. For 8 years, we've been recommending the game to friends, bringing more and more into the community. And what was the developers' response? They've blown us off, refused to comment, and only encouraged those who have lost all respect for themselves to continue to pour money in. I personally had high hopes for Tarkov. In my eyes, it was a high quality and most ambitious project on the entire market. This is unacceptable. This is selfish. This is disrespectful. You've disgraced yourselves completely. And again, this person has a point, right? This person has a serious point. The only people defending this are the ones that are like, no, please, Tarkov, please, let me lick harder, daddy.
And while Battlestate Games was taking heat from everyone on every platform, a game called Arena Breakout Infinite makes a tweet making fun of them, just poking a little fun at them and saying this: taking an all homeless shooter looter. With a big wave goodbye to Tarkov today, we're here to welcome you to Kimona. If this video gets 5,000 retweets, 10,000 or more test slots will be added to our servers. Don't tell the boss. Escape from blank. Welcome to Kimona. Tarkov responds with a tweet of their own, which is just a screenshot of the Arena Breakout Infinite's tweet, saying, "Have a nice 20-minute adventure in the blatant plagiarist game, in and out." This shows how insecure Battlestate Games is, and the other game isn't plagiarizing them at all. I think they actually started out as a mobile game and now are making a computer version of it. Arena Breakout Infinite actually responded to this tweet saying, "Bro, we are willing to give you a key to try ABI, at least it's free." Then goes on to thank the fans. Battlestate's comment section on this tweet was going off on them as people as big as Dr. Lupo were clowning on them, saying 20 minutes is still 10 times as long as I last against cheaters in your game. Thumbs up emoji. You're doing great. A person by the name of Big Fry says, "For whatever reason, it's saying I can't see your tweet unless I pay another $100. Any other EOD account saying that?" Which is basically poking fun and making fun of the update. These also ratioed really bad the original tweet from Battlestate Games. Battlestate Games finally responded via Reddit, announcing they are giving EOD players some extras, and two of those extras are high priority matchmaking for 6 months and access to PvE mode for 6 months. They didn't give an apology at all. They just gave access to a quote feature for 6 months before taking it off and putting it behind a paywall again. They also made another response here where basically on top of broken English in a supposedly professional response, they also make a terrible excuse for what a DLC is. I wanted to highlight the first paragraph of this. None of the other stuff matters. It's just random jibber jabber that is just ridiculous. The only other thing here is that if you own the EOD version of the game, you'll be able to get a discount for the Unheard edition. So you have to just pay $50 instead of $100, which is still insane. First paragraph here says, "First of all, PvE game mode. This is not DLC," which is broken English. This is a terrible way to start out a paragraph describing what a DLC is apparently. It says, "DLC in our understanding is the major additions to the game, including various functionality and content that are released after the official release of the game as a themed DLC pack." This is wrong. So basically, they also contradict themselves. Major is the major additions to the game. DLC in our understanding is the major additions to the game, which a whole entire new game mode, that's a huge addition to the game, Battlestate. I don't see what you're thinking here whenever you're adding an entire PvE mode that's going to have its own whole system. A whole entire new game mode. This is basically what it is. It's a whole entire new game mode, and apparently it's not DLC. They also talk about and content that are released after the official release of the game as a themed DLC pack. Your game's never going to release. You're going to be forever stuck in beta because you just refuse to actually fully release it. To be honest, right now, the game should just be, basically announced as release. The only reason that they probably don't have it fully released is because, they want to have the, excuse wall of, "Oh, we're still a game in beta. We're not a fully released game." It's ridiculous. What do you mean the official release and a themed DLC pack? It can be just an update, right? Also, this is basically a DLC pack of its own. Just because the Unheard of edition basically just included a whole bunch of just included a new game mode and some extras, which is a DLC. And then the rest of it doesn't really matter besides, we're going to give you 50% off of the Unheard of edition. So, paying $50 for, some extra add-ons for the game after being a long-time supporter. Kind of a spit in the face, I don't know. Also made an actual sort of apology. Not really, but it disgusted me as soon as I looked at it, mainly due to the opening paragraph, which read as this. Where is it? Let me continue my feedback in the current situation. First of all, I would like to say that I am very sorry that fans and the game community in general are experiencing these feelings. That sounds like a backhanded, like very spat in the face, like I'm sorry. To me, that this isn't a good apology at all. Unfortunately, I somehow did not foresee the fact of such a reaction, and now I have drawn a conclusion for my future decisions. And then basically it says here, this is actually important. The apology part, hey, that sucked, but hey, Russians don't know anything about feelings. Or apparently it basically says that EOD players are now going to get the PvE game mode for free, but it's going to be in waves due to the server capacity and stuff, which is just technical issues, which makes sense. That part makes sense, like doing it in waves. I'm fine with that. This is going in the somewhat correct direction. This was better than the two previous statements. This game and the developers are officially a scam and scammers. This is a terrible behavior from the developers, as this could possibly have a terrible influence on other games and developers. Cheating can kill a game, and when developers aren't listening to the people, it can also kill a game. An example would be Call of Duty, as people are trying to leave Call of Duty and play anything else because COD refused to listen at the moment. Battlestate Games lost a huge amount of love, support, and trust from the community here. Like years, like 7 to 8 years worth of love and trust and support gone in an instant, which is insane. Just through a week, or a weekend actually, I think, is whenever all this happened. The same people who supported them for so long now have a distrust in them and don't even like them. This game is on the verge of death, and if they don't fix this issue and the cheating issue, it'll soon be over for them. Like I said before, it's very weird and stupid that like you won't focus on a anti-cheat, but you'll focus on a $250 version of the game. It's just really weird to me. They're trying to like rinse out every single one of your pennies and stuff. This is like the worst time to ever be like pay another $100 for this game that you've already paid $125 for. It's one of the worst times ever to do that. There's actually talks of people going after Battlestate legally due to this, which is pretty interesting. And is it fair, and will they get away with it? I think so. I think that there's an argument there that could possibly get Battlestate in trouble. They tried, like I said before, they were trying to cover themselves legally. And Mudahar also showed it in his video. He's like talking about, oh, so we're speaking legal speak now? Talking about, you know, them talking really weird and specifically. Like how I said before, they try to call it an addition, or they try to call it a feature in the game besides a DLC. But one of the things that they need to fix more than anything is the cheating. That seems to be a very huge issue here. Yeah, like I said, personally, I think this is very scummy. I think no one should trust this place. I don't really feel like forgiving them. I feel like we should not really trust them, not really even play their game.
I want to make videos on some more topics like this that are like probably maybe shorter videos, but still like, you know, good and enjoyable videos. So expect maybe more of these in the future if y'all like these. Also, I'm very curious of like where all their money went. From what I heard, they spent it all on tournaments and some other stuff. But like, how are you, like, I wonder where their money went, where they can't really afford, I guess, is what everyone's assuming, is that they can't afford to make an anti-cheat, and like where just all their money is in general to make a $250 edition, and where you're having to basically kind of e-beg by making a new edition of the game with a lot more like additions for your character and stuff. Like I wonder like why you're so down bad for money that you have to do this. But I personally don't know. If any of y'all know, in the comments down below, let me know. If you have played this game personally and you like, how do you feel about it? Let me know in the comments down below.
But let me know if y'all like this video. I do want to have another video out about another game that has had a bad reputation recently, that used to have a really good one and a lot of love. But we'll just see. I'm trying to upload a little bit more frequently. Hopefully this summer I will be on the absolute grind of my life trying to pump out videos. A new Daniel episode will be out this summer, probably at the start of the summer, I would hope, or maybe probably May, like end of May maybe. We'll just have to see how everything goes. And then also some other videos I want to work on that I hope you all like. Make sure to go check out my Michael Quinn video. And until next time, in the end, I'm PERK30, and
In conclusion, is the perfect example of what zero pussy does to a motherfucker.